Okay, getting back into this. Case 5, case 23. It is time for us to figure out what it is that Maya actually saw. So, all right, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you've got. Who was this person that you say Miss Fay saw in the darkness? Definitely Larry. It's definitely Larry.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it was pitch black, Miss Fay was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes? What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. You need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all of the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
And a knife be placed in my hands before doing so.
What? But it can't be.
That was a spit of deduction.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order, order, order. Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Because I fucking did. You're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
Got a question? Ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
Now, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights?
Was it Triclops over there?
Yeah, that also makes sense with why she was like, I promise not to say anything about this, because since she's the witness, the prosecutor would have obviously talked to her first, so.
Yeah.
Well, witness, answer the question.
Wrong. I never saw that.
Maya?
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason.
What? Witness, Mr. Wright.
Stop your chattering, Your Honor.
Chattering?
It's worth asking. Ask the witness. That's one of my.
All right. Well, then let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize until after I woke up, but when I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Torches were lit and the body was gone. And all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think that the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No need to apologize. As Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. Only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble, moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
Yes, I think. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple, it could only have been the killer.
That's what I think too.
So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
It looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. Okay. Torches were lit.
Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, that's true. There is one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? It's true. It's hard to see how that would have been of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well, let me hear some more about the condition of the crime scene. Okay, snow. Oh no, although the snow around Stone Lantern had been careful. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It looked really odd. Snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
There are a lot of shovels around the inner temple. They're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use.
Odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
Godot,
Well,
any
there's one
thoughts?
thing. What was that?
I said, Godot, any thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I don't answer questions. Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. Area I collapsed and ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think it's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there's no need to remove that amount. That's true. You could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
But I think this will help explain them.
So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Yes.
But earlier you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attack.
Nick, I'm sorry.
Okay, close to the body pen. Okay. Interesting. Sweet. By the time we get back to your change. Let's see. The killer must have done it right. Why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something the killer desperately wanted to hide.
Truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. Mr. Bikini had come back and looked at the garden.
You may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
Yeah, I'm sure of it. But for some reason, he also wrote my name on the lantern.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If that's the case, why was her name on the lantern?
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, here's my killer thing with the evidence of what had happened. They did it for your sake.
Yes. Well, if the blood and the body had been removed, I would have been immediately the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true. And if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Rain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it. But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you? Interesting. Okay, so that is all of them. I think that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened. So my first thought is actually to use the lantern here because of the Maya on the thing, but I want to check through and see if there's anything else.
Wait, did you save?
No, I didn't yet. I will in a second. I'm in the Garden of the Inner Temple. So this is also an interesting thing, because I wonder if this was just, like, missed. Because it's weird that they came back and cleaned up the crime scene, but they left it there.
Yeah. Unless they wrote it. Now, that would be it.
No, I mean the talisman.
Oh, the talisman. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, let's try the... Makes most sense. The body of Elisa Nim was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
And what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written in the blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya.
Yeah, and since he's colorblind, he didn't see it. So
That's true.
yeah, I just remembered
Oh,
that. I just remembered that.
you're right. And that's also interesting, because that means if he was the one who came up and cleaned the crime scene, someone else wrote that. Which Dahlia did mention, like, oh, my back was to the lantern and I wrote that, which doesn't quite make sense. But if it may have been her who wrote that.
I I kind of think it was her.
Yeah. It just the only thing is that we know like her bit about being back to the lantern doesn't add up because she was wounded in the back. Um,
Yeah,
and that lines up more with Maya's testimony of the person being behind her when she was attacking Maya. But I guess
yeah.
maybe after Maya passed out, maybe she like I don't know. Anyway, yeah. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Ah, you're right. Order, order, order. But, Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, doesn't it make... Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, that also makes sense. That also explains why he dug up all the snow in the rectangle around the lantern. He couldn't actually tell which part of the snow was bloody.
True, I did not think about that.
Gonna finish what's
Huh.
next. That is a good question. We're gonna have to figure that out because we've been playing this game for so long. We have really not thought about what's coming after this, so I don't know yet what we're gonna play next, but I have some ideas, and me and Waffles at some point will have to talk about it and figure that out. And also like with holidays and stuff coming out, maybe that won't be immediately anyway. So we'll see what happens. Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
If that's the case,
Hmm.
I have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior. Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow? Then leave the bloody writing on the lantern.
I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. Must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? Prosecutor Godot, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
But that doesn't make any sense. The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. Who would that be? Who's the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday.
I say it's pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern? There's something written on it. Why? It's written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle.
Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before, during the poisoning case at Tribulations.
This is the apron that the delightful Miss Bird was wearing at the time. Somehow spilled coffee on.
Oh, wow, yeah. Something's still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court?
I completely forgot about that. What's
Yeah,
would that be?
that's actually really good. Yeah, I think we questioned that at the time, but like that was so long ago at this point. We like,
Yeah.
they never actually explained where that came from. Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. Also, like in this shot, it looks more orange than red, so I think that also was distracting.
Yeah.
It looks like marinara sauce.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about the state.
You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Oh, it's actually right. It actually was ketchup, wasn't it?
Hmm. Huh. Strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know that the reason why I don't drink red tea?
Okay, well, that's really neither here nor there.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
red. Yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. That it's kind of weird to think about that you would see everything, and I guess it's kind of interesting to think about that you see things in a shade of red. And I guess it's kind of like color blindness, where it's like you might not see things in color, but you can still tell what colors things are based on their different shades.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot was the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Dunim, also known as Miss Misty Fey. Hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
Huh. Just make sure you fill out the indictment in red ink. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written.
I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on.
The answer is right there at the crime scene. Oh, that also explains why he left the talisman there, I guess. Even though the talisman does have some yellow on it, but a lot of it blended in with the snow, so you probably just missed it altogether.
Yeah.
In the snow?
Oh.
The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If you wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take just that area? Ah, could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Isn't it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. Torches were unlit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Wait just a minute.
Maya? What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. I am.
It was Gumshoe
No,
wearing red sunglasses.
After all, he didn't even come in to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place.
Hey, how would you know that?
He didn't show up until that old bridge got fixed up.
Oh, yeah. Can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? Ah!
Murder happened. You didn't even exist.
She didn't. I'm afraid I don't follow.
Or you see now. We established this just a little while after the murder. This witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya, do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the costs? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Nicely done.
Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the inner temple too.
That's
She's the
true.
real murderer.
Yeah.
Pearly was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the inner temple for the first time. Found Pearly and cheered her right up.
Who is this Merlin?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye.
When did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office.
I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
What? Come on. That's bullshit. Bro, Pearly would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath.
Prosecution has no objection. We believe.
Mr. Godot.
Let's just move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but... Well, Mr. Wright, let's get this cross-examination started. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? He must have already been at the Inner Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Nim. So where did you think Pearl slept that night? Oh, damn. So where do you think Pearl slept that night?
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the Inner Temple in the first place? Seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the Inner Temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Nim. Okay. She searched the entire Inner Temple side, end to end.
Oh, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone. And there weren't that many places to look. It says that she even went back and forth several times.
The Inner Temple side has two structures, a training hall and a spare prep room.
There's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There was a storage shack, too. Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully?
If it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge.
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearly said he was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night. She couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl, all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the Sacred Cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne is busy battling Tricklock.
You couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
Okay, so yeah, that's when you arrived. So it was your first time in the Inner Temple side, on the Inner Temple side, Godot.
That's funny. Am I imagining this, or did the defense ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touche, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
hot nights, and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it have been for this case, I never visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think all that.
So we had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh?
Huh. You want to say something, Trey?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policemen came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Yes, and Mr. Godot.
He cheered her up?
Hurley said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee ad.
Cut it out. You're making me blush.
This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves, in more ways than one.
Truth is, there aren't that many places to look. Temple side. Police were all busy over the garden. Fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out investigation in my own way. No style.
I'm the same way. I'd like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions Phoenix style. So you cheered Pearls up.
When I found that little girl, the first thing she asked, how was her cousin, Maya Fey?
So I told her she's probably dead, and that cheered her right up.
And that she probably killed her mother.
She thought that was funny.
Really?
Bridge had burned down. She was huddled up in that tiny shack. Even though she must have had a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said a thing about herself.
Hurley?
Noticed that you weren't anywhere. Temple side. But I couldn't find it in me to tell her. So I gave her my last cup. Milk and sugar by the bitterness of the harsh truth.
What a sweet story. Get a thermos of coffee? Why didn't that surprise me? Okay. So we've gone through all the stuff. Secondly, in the temple side of the night, next morning she looked around but couldn't find anyone. Next day, when the spiritual stone was fixed, she was in the spare prep room. Heard the temple for the first time. And probably. Okay, so let's see. What do we got? What do we got? I guess we'll say it first. Let's see if we have any. What info we have from Earl. Seems to be the lights. Okay. Talisman. Temple. Let's see. Couldn't find anyone. I guess there wouldn't have been anyone else on the on this side, right? Which is cheered her up. Oh, I had more. Okay, hold on. I have more questions to ask here. Godot's investigation. Okay. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
Looks like my investigation went about as well as yours. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Beauty?
Misty Faye, naturally flattered, stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western tastes. You find a stranger way to describe gravy. So from there, you headed for the prep room. Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? You just found his proverbial weak spot. Okay.
What about the gravy?
Yeah. That's... You gotta go... I'm curious. I don't know what he means by that.
Was he talking about the picture?
He was.
But why? I'm trying to think, why is that?
Yeah. Missy Faye, clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma. Let me look at... So that's the thing, right? With the gravy, we can't actually see the picture at all.
Oh, yeah. So that means he knew what it looked like. Okay, so he didn't. Does he? Okay, so that means he didn't see the gravy on it.
Well, he said he basically implied that there was gravy on it. I think what it's
No,
trying to say.
I'm thinking. Wait, go back to the statement because it looked like he's saying he saw the photo before the gravy was on.
Yeah, well, he's saying surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. That's the gravy.
I think that's what she was wearing. Maybe.
But
Or
no, because he says and the
oh wait,
aroma
oh
of
an
Western
aroma
tastes.
of Western tastes. Okay.
Yeah, like he could smell the gravy. And then
Oh,
Phoenix
okay.
says, like, that's a weird way to say gravy.
Yeah, but how would he know that she was wearing a stunning Japanese garb? That
That's a good point. My
so I'm
thought with
thinking
it,
maybe show the scroll then, because it's like, uh, how would you know what's under the gravy? That means he was
that's
there
true.
before. Is my point, you know?
Yeah, it's just interesting because we don't really have a line to show that on. Found Pearly first to shoot it right up.
Oh, maybe
I guess
that.
it would
Wait,
be
maybe
here.
that one? No, wait. Go to the left. That's when Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time.
Oh, that you're right. Yeah, because we say like, oh, he couldn't have known what that poster looked like, if he hadn't been there before.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Mr. Godot, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Guess he just made one fatal slip-up. Hanging scroll in the training hall. Hanging scroll?
But Sigurdo is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is. But here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? Dude, I showed you a picture of it. How do you smell that?
There's
I mean, I
gravy
guess-
on the picture.
Unless the assumption is that all the evidence we literally just have here in the courtroom,
Yeah.
which I guess
Yeah, you
makes
just-
more sense, but
He just has it in his pocket.
yeah, right? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
Gravy? Well, why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fey.
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes?
Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there.
That.
Ah.
It's the mark of the master, correct?
Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark,
Use of uninvolving curry. Yeah, that makes sense. That it would have been curry in the Japanese. I think we had looked into that before. But yeah. Sorry. So you know the meaning of the mark. Oh yeah, okay. Then you could guess that it was a picture of Misty Fey on there. True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
oh, yeah, he fucked up.
Yeah. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding in the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, right?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours all rests on a certain assumption that I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
I mean, if you were planning one.
Huh. Okay. I wonder, maybe he's the one who read the letter? Because again, if you think about it, it'd be really stupid. It didn't make sense that he would Misty Fey would channel Dahlia after reading that note. You know?
But
It
she
wouldn't make
did-
sense.
Yeah, but then why did she channel Dahlia? Still is the
I
question.
think for something. I think maybe it's for something completely separate. See, it'd make more
Yeah.
sense if he read it. That's how he knew that there was going to
Yeah.
be a crime. That's
that would
my
make
thought.
sense.
Or maybe
would make
maybe all
sense.
three of them. Maybe all three of them read it. Who knows? The three be including Pearl. But
Yeah,
I mean
I-
that makes more sense to me at least.
Yeah, because I don't think Misty Fey would have had to read the letter. I agree that Misty Fey, we don't know what her reasoning was for channeling Dahlia. It was definitely not just because the letter said to. Like, there was something else going on, because that wouldn't have made any sense.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like, yeah, because it, like, you remember what was written on the letter. It was hatred towards her. So it's like, why would
Yeah.
she do that? That makes no sense. So this makes sense if he read it, and so that's how he knew. So
Yeah.
that's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene.
Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you just say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
And I think you gotta show the. Wait.
Yeah. So
I think you would show the letter in this.
I think
one,
so too. I think so
assuming?
too.
Yeah.
But I think we'll do that next time.
All right.